What's up, guys? Welcome to the day 3 of 15 days of Opencv for beginners in Python. I'm Chandu and I am super excited to be an instructor of this course. So in this one, we are talking about how the image are represented as numbers and how can we use the numbers to actually generate one black images using Opencv. So without any further delay, so let's get started. So in day 2, we are going to discuss about how can we read the images, how can we show the images, how can we write the images in our directory. So now I'm going to create a new file for day3 here. So let's say day3.py. Okay. So now I'm going to import the cb2. So import cb2. And I'm going to load one images from my directory that is called spiderman.jpg. Okay, these images. So for loading the images, we're going to use that cb2.imread. And you already discussed about all the things in details in day 2. If you miss this out, so check it out. Link will be in the description. So jpg, let's flag as 1. Okay, and I'm going to show the images. So for that, I'm going to use the cb2.imShow method, and we need to put here one window name. So let's say frame. And finally, I'm going to pass here the image, this one. So let's assign it into one variable that's called image. And then we need to actually put here one wait key that's called the keyboard binding functions. And you need to put here the delay. So let's say 0 when you don't click on the arrow button. That's not arrow, it's called the cross button. It's not actually gone. So and finally, after clicking on the cross, you're going to destroy all the windows here. Okay, and save and run the code. It's working fine or not. Okay, as you can see here, our image is loaded. Okay, I'm going to click to close that, and you can see here our program is exited. Okay, so now let's talk about the basic things in the images. So let's say I'm going to try to print the shape of the images. Let's say print the shape of the images is the shape of the images, and I'm going to actually comment out those lines because we don't need that, because we are actually discussing about the image and numbers. So I'm going to run the code here, and you can see here, this is the nothing but the shape of the images, nothing but 495, 456, 3. So 3 is nothing but the number of channels. That means this is one RGB image, also called the BGR image. So if I put here 0, that means this is nothing but the grayscale image. If you put it a flag as 0, that means this is a grayscale image. So I'm going to click here to run the code and see the output. And you can see here, this is nothing but the grayscale image because it have only one channels. That means 0 means no channels here. Okay, that means this is nothing but the grayscale image. You can also show that images. So let's comment this line and run the code, and you can see here the grayscale image is appeared on here. Okay, I think we got some error. Okay, cb2 has not defined here. Okay, I think we need to save the code again and run the code again. Okay, and you can see here this is nothing but the grayscale image. Okay, so if I try to print the data type of the images and see the output, let's comment this line here and print, let's say d type for the data type of the images. Save it and run the code here and see the output, and you can see here this is nothing but UINT8. So UINT8 nothing but called the unsigned integer 8-bit. Okay, so if I talk about the lowest of the unsigned bit, let's say we have the lowest, we have only 0 and 1 below for binary cases. If I put here the only 7 here, that's when you have the 8-bit. So that's mean 80 here. So you can see here 6, 7, and 8. Okay, this is the lowest value of the unsigned bit. If I put here the 111, this is the highest bit. Okay, so if I actually convert this into the what you call the hexadecimal, so this number looks like that, and this decimal value is nothing but 0. Okay, and this decimal value is nothing but 0 cross FFF. So this is nothing but for the hexadecimal number is 256. Sorry, 255. Okay, so that's mean our image is sliced on 0 to 255. That's means 0 to 255. Okay, that's when all the images is converted onto the 0 to 255. That's nothing but our BGR channels. That's a BGR. So BGR is nothing but a blue, green, and red channel because Opencv did the images in BGR format. Okay, So that's why blue, green, and red. And all the channel is lies on 0 to 255. That means we have 3 channels: white, height, and the number of channels. That means this is nothing but called 0 to 256. That means we have 256 numbers. Okay. So when we talk about that, we have the white, height, and the number of channels. That means the possible of the color should be 2 to 4 is to 3. Okay. That means we need to put here one cap. Okay. That's means cross, or what we call cross 256 cross 256. That means this possible for to actually for the color combinations here. If I open my calculator here, that's a CLC. Okay, that's means CLC. And it open my calculator. So if I give here 256 comma cross 256, that means this is the combination of the color. That means how many possible color here. That means this is the possible color for here. Okay, I'm going to click to close that. Okay, so I think you understand what is the unsigned integer. Okay, and you can see here 0 and 1. 0 means it represents this with the black pixel. Okay, black. And the 256 not is actually called the 111. That means 1 is actually represent as this is nothing but white. Okay, let's say white. Also you can see here that's called the 256. Okay, so that's the basic things on the images. Okay, and I'm going to comment these lines here. Okay, so we got the database as unsigned integer 8. Okay, so now let's see it type also. That's a type of the images and see the output. Run the code here and see the output, and you can see here this is nothing but one class called numpy.nd array. So what is the numpy? Numpy is a library in Python. It actually helps us to do the multi-dimensional tasks like scientific computation. If you are working on the data science, it actually helps you to do this multi-dimensional classification like that, or any tasks it's regarding on the multi-dimensional classification or scientific. Okay, so this is nothing but called numpy. So using numpy we can generate images. That's called black images. Okay, generate using numpy. And also see that how can you generate the black images using numpy later on. Okay, so I'm going to print. Okay, I'm going to print the image and dimensions. Okay, this is nothing but the and dimension of the images. Let's say dimes. So we see that what is the dimension of the images. So if I run the code and see the output, let's save it and go down, and you can see here the dimension of the class is nothing but 2. But why 2? Because we have put here the grayscale images. That's why you have 2. So that's when dimension is 2. If I put here 1 and see the output, and you can see here the output is nothing but 3. Why 3? Because this is nothing but 3 channels, 3 colors. That means you have 3 channels. This is nothing but the white, height, and the number of channels. So that's why dimension must be 3. Simple. Okay, so you can also check these also size of the images. Let's say image.size. You can also check its size of the images. Save it and run the code here and see the output. Okay, and you can see here this is nothing but the size of the images. That means this is nothing but like there's 6 this KB maybe. Okay, so this is nothing but the size of the images. Okay, so now let's see how can you generate the black images using numpy. Okay, so what are the dimension of the images like now right now? Okay, so the dimension is the images. If I run the code again and see the dimension of the images, let's say this is nothing but a dimension of the images. Let's say this one, copy this one, and now let's see how can you actually generate one black images using the numpy. So I'm going to import the numpy also. Okay, import numpy as NB. So when you install the Opencv library, and numpy is automatically download on your system. Okay, now let's create into a variable. Let's call the image, and I'm going to use the numpy dot. Let's say all the metrics should be 0. Okay, so why 0? Because image is nothing but called one numpy array. Okay, so if I trying to see it, okay, let's comment this line and also uncomment this line, and I'm going to show you this is nothing but the image is combination of one numpy array. Let's say image. Okay, and also I'm going to comment out these lines here, comment out these lines, and save and run the code. And let's see on the terminal, and you can see here this is one called n dimensional array. That's called the Numpy array. And you can see here, this is nothing but the Bgr channels, BGR. So this is the B value, this is nothing but the G value, and this is nothing but the R value. Okay, so this is the combination of the 3 value of the B value, G value, and the R value. And after that, making the combination, it actually give here 1 images. Okay, you can see here some dots because it has some value inside here. That's means it's so long. Okay, so now what you can do, we can using NumPy, we can generate 1 images using the numpy.zeros matrix. That's mean all the numbers should be 0. That's mean this should be a black images. Okay, so let's say comment this one. Notice this nothing but the 1. You can put here the 250, 255. This is nothing but the white or that. Okay, and inside that I'm going to put here the size of the images. Let's say our size of the images, let's say this one, let's say 450 comma, let's say 450, like that. And we have the shape of the images, this one, and we need to put here the data type. So our data type is nothing but the unsigned integer 8. So for that, I'm going to put here np dot unsigned integer 8. And now if I try to show the images and see the output, okay, save it and run the code. We need to also comment these lines here. So for that, comment these lines and run the code, and you can see here one thing, exciting thing. Okay, I think got error. CB2 is not defined. Okay, I think I forget to actually set the code for again. And you can see here one image is appeared here with black. Okay, this is nothing but the black. Okay, so if all the values are containing 255, 255, 255, that means this is nothing but the white images. So you can see here the image NumPy array is actually containing the value of zeros, containing the values zeros is the predefined functions in the NumPy. So it actually give me 1 black images. Okay, if I can also change these dimensions here. Let's say 512, it's also called the width and the height of the images. Okay, 512, save and run the code here. As the output, you can see here our screen is quite big right now. It's actually 512 cross 512. So this is a tutorial. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and make sure to subscribe my channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon